Why most seniors face a short lifespan after 80, and 5 powerful wisdoms to live beyond 100. Most people don't live past 80 because of 5 simple lifestyle choices. But what if you could break that pattern and live well beyond 100? Have you noticed how many people you know are slowing down once they hit 80, even if they seemed healthy in their 60s? They deal with health issues, fatigue, and sometimes just give up on the future. What if you could change that? Imagine feeling energized, strong, and vibrant in your 80s, 90s, and even beyond, and it all starts with 5 powerful shifts. Meet George. At 82 years old, George was once the picture of health. He loved gardening, taking long walks around his neighborhood and spending time with friends. But as the years went by, he started noticing changes. Simple things like bending down to tend to his flowers or walking to the store became harder and harder. His energy levels dropped, and he began to feel like his best days were behind him. But here's the thing. George realized he didn't have to accept a life of slowing down. He didn't have to live his final years feeling tired and disconnected from the world around him. There's a better way, and it starts with understanding the power of simple, everyday choices. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 powerful wisdoms that can completely transform your later years, just like it did for George. These wisdoms aren't just about living longer, they're about living well. Imagine having the energy to garden again, travel, or simply enjoy each day to its fullest, no matter your age. If you're ready to take control of your health and live well beyond 100, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on thriving in your golden years. Let's dive into these life-changing principles. Wisdom number 1, the power of movement, even small steps. George used to believe that staying active meant intense workouts. He was once the type of person who pushed himself to the limit, running long distances and lifting weights. In his younger years, this kept him in shape and energized, but as the years passed, his body didn't respond the same way. What was once easy now felt like a struggle. He would try to push himself harder, but the more he exerted himself, the more he felt exhausted and sore, sometimes even facing joint pain that held him back. After a few frustrating months, George realized something crucial. He didn't have to keep pushing himself like he did when he was younger. The constant pressure to exercise hard was making things worse. Instead, George shifted his mindset. He began to embrace the idea that movement itself was the key. It didn't matter if it was a brisk walk or a gentle stretch. The goal was consistency, not intensity. What George discovered was that small, consistent movements were not just easier on his body, but they were also more effective for long-term health. Instead of focusing on strenuous workouts, he started taking daily walks, stretching every morning, and practicing yoga. These low-impact activities helped him maintain his mobility and flexibility. And here's the best part, they didn't leave him feeling drained or in pain. In fact, they actually gave him more energy throughout the day, something he hadn't expected. This is one of the most powerful lessons that can make a huge difference as we get older. You don't have to run marathons or do intense gym workouts to stay healthy. The key is to focus on movement, no matter how small. Taking a walk around the block, doing a 10-minute stretching routine in the morning, or even practicing some gentle yoga can do wonders for your body. These activities not only improve flexibility, but also strengthen muscles, boost circulation, and keep your joints healthy. The more consistent you are, the better the results, without the strain and exhaustion that comes with pushing too hard. Low-impact exercises are especially important for seniors because they're easy on the joints and muscles, but still provide incredible benefits. Walking, for example, is a simple activity that helps with balance and coordination. Stretching keeps muscles limber, which reduces stiffness and improves overall mobility. Yoga, with its focus on breathing and flexibility, is fantastic for improving posture, reducing stress, and even boosting mental clarity. And here's the best part. It doesn't have to be an hour-long workout or a heavy-duty training session. It's the small steps that matter most. Just 10 to 15 minutes of movement a day can lead to remarkable improvements in both your physical and mental well-being. So, whether it's walking, stretching, or even just standing up and moving around for a few minutes every hour, incorporating movement into your daily routine can have a profound impact on your health. George's new routine didn't take up a lot of time, but the benefits were clear. His energy levels increased, his flexibility improved, and his mood lifted. By focusing on small steps, he gave his body what it needed to stay strong and healthy as he aged. Have you ever struggled to stay active as you got older? What kinds of activities have worked for you to stay moving? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Remember, it's not about pushing your body to extremes, it's about consistency. Small movements done daily can add up to big changes, allowing you to stay active, healthy and independent well into your later years. It's never too late to start, and every step you take today will build a stronger, more vibrant tomorrow. So if you've been thinking that age is an obstacle to staying active, think again. George proved that with the right mindset and a commitment to small, consistent movement, it's possible to regain your vitality and even exceed your expectations for the future. Let's move on to the next powerful wisdom that helped George unlock the full potential of his golden years. Wisdom number 2, nutritional balance over dieting. At 80, many seniors fall into the trap of restrictive diets, trying to lose weight or stay youthful by cutting back on food or following the latest fad diet. George, like many, had tried several of these diets over the years. He would cut out carbs one week, eliminate sugar the next, and focus on eating only protein the following month. While he would see some short-term results, it never lasted. Soon he realized that these restrictive diets weren't making him feel healthier. They were making him feel deprived and tired. What was the point of losing weight if he felt miserable and low on energy? One day, George had an epiphany. Instead of focusing on dieting and what to restrict, he shifted his approach to what he could nourish his body with. After doing some research and talking with a nutritionist, he understood that the key to staying healthy as we age is balance, not restriction. He learned that it wasn't about cutting out whole food groups or obsessively counting calories. It was about feeding his body the nutrients it needed to function at its best. A balanced, nutrient-rich diet that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, healthy fats and lean proteins can give your body the fuel it needs for energy, muscle maintenance and overall vitality. George now focuses on filling his plate with colourful, fresh foods. He makes sure to get a variety of vegetables in every meal, whether it's leafy greens, root vegetables, or vibrant bell peppers. These foods are packed with antioxidants, vitamins and minerals that help fight inflammation, support immune function, and keep the body feeling strong. He also learned that healthy fats, such as those from avocados, nuts, seeds and olive oil, are essential for heart health, cognitive function and joint lubrication. George had been avoiding fats for years, thinking they would make him gain weight, but now he understands that not all fats are created equal. Healthy fats help keep skin glowing, support brain health, and provide sustained energy throughout the day. And perhaps most importantly, George learned that protein is crucial for maintaining muscle mass. As we age, we naturally lose muscle, which can lead to weakness, instability, and an increased risk of falls. Getting enough protein from sources like chicken, fish, eggs, legumes, and even plant-based options like tofu or tempeh helps keep muscles strong and your body functioning well. The key takeaway here is that it's not about restrictive dieting or trying to fit into a certain body standard. It's about nourishing your body for longevity. That means choosing nutrient-dense foods that support all of your body's systems, from your heart to your brain to your muscles. For seniors, a balanced diet helps not only with weight management but also with maintaining energy, muscle strength and mental clarity. George no longer follows fad diets. Instead, he focuses on creating meals that are both delicious and nourishing. His energy has increased, his body feels stronger, and he's finally stopped worrying about what to cut out of his diet. Instead, he's learned to embrace food as a tool for health and longevity. What's your favorite healthy meal? We'd love to hear your go-to dishes that help you feel your best. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Remember, healthy eating doesn't have to be about extremes. It's about finding balance. You don't need to eliminate entire food groups. Just focus on adding more nutrient-rich foods to your diet. By doing this, you're giving your body everything it needs to stay strong, energized, and ready for anything. Wisdom number 3, cultivate a positive mindset. George often found that his mindset had a direct impact on how he felt each day. In his younger years, he had a more carefree attitude toward aging, but as the years piled on, he started noticing how easy it was to slip into a negative mindset. He'd hear people his age complaining about their aches and pains, or lamenting over the good old days when they felt stronger, more energetic. It was hard not to get caught up in it, but George began to realize that the way he viewed aging was playing a major role in how he experienced it. His energy, mood and health seemed to follow whatever mental path he chose to walk down. Instead of focusing on the physical limitations that come with age, George chose to focus on the possibilities. He started thinking of aging not as a downhill spiral, but as a new chapter, a chance to explore new experiences, learn new things, and deepen his relationships. George found that by cultivating a positive mindset, he began to feel lighter, more energized, and excited about life again. The shift wasn't immediate, but George started implementing small practices each day to change his perspective. The first thing he did was to start focusing on gratitude. Every morning he took a moment to think about what he was thankful for. His family, his health, the small victories of the day before. Even when things were tough, he forced himself to find something to be grateful for. Whether it was the smell of fresh coffee in the morning or the laughter of his grandchildren, George made gratitude a non-negotiable part of his routine. He also started using daily affirmations. He would remind himself every morning, "I'm strong, I'm capable. I am not defined by my age." Every day is an opportunity to grow and experience something new. These simple statements weren't just words, they were a mindset shift. Affirmations helped George start his day on a positive note, with intention and purpose. Perhaps the most important thing George did was to stay curious. He didn't let his age dictate his curiosity. He read books on topics he had never explored before, took online courses, and even tried learning how to paint. Staying curious helped him feel connected to the world around him and gave him the motivation to keep moving forward. Instead of feeling like he had reached a dead end, George found that his later years were filled with excitement and growth, all because he chose to stay open to new experiences. The benefits of this shift were more than just emotional. Research has shown that a positive mindset can reduce stress, improve immune function, and even enhance physical health. Stress can be incredibly damaging to the body, especially as we age, but a positive outlook can help reduce the effects of stress, boost mood, and support overall well-being. George found that by focusing on what was good and possible in his life, he not only felt better emotionally, but his health also improved. His energy increased, his sleep quality improved, and he even noticed a reduction in some of his chronic pain. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to focus your attention. It's about looking for the silver lining and remembering that each day is an opportunity for something new. It's about rejecting the notion that aging equals decline and embracing the idea that aging equals potential. The more George embraced this mindset, the more vibrant and youthful he felt, and the more his days seemed to be filled with joy. How do you stay positive in your golden years? Drop a comment and inspire others. What practices or habits help you keep your mindset strong and uplifting? A positive mindset isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a powerful tool that can transform your health and your life. George's story is proof that age isn't a limitation. It's a new opportunity for growth, learning, and happiness. If you want to age well, remember it all starts with how you choose to see the world. A positive outlook can help you embrace the changes that come with age and find joy in every season of life. Wisdom number 4, stay connected. Social bonds matter more than you think. We've all heard it before. Isolation is a risk factor for many health problems in seniors. And while it may sound like just another warning, George experienced firsthand just how true this is. After losing his wife a few years ago, George found himself spending more time alone. The loneliness crept in slowly at first. His days became quieter, and his evenings stretched on without the familiar sound of conversation or laughter. At first he didn't think much of it. After all, he was content in his own company. But over time, George began to notice a difference in himself. His energy levels dropped, his mood worsened, and he started feeling more disconnected from the world. It wasn't until George had a heart-to-heart conversation with his daughter that he realized how much his social connections had impacted his well-being. She reminded him how much he used to thrive when he had regular interactions with friends and family. Whether it was attending church, going on coffee dates with old friends, or simply chatting with neighbours, George was once a social butterfly. And those interactions, he now understood, were more than just pleasant. They were essential for his mental, emotional, and even physical health. George decided to make a change. He began to actively seek out social connections again. He joined a local book club where he could engage with others about topics he loved. He started scheduling weekly coffee dates with his closest friends, even if it was just to catch up for an hour. And he made sure to call his children and grandchildren regularly, sometimes just to hear their voices or share a funny story. What George quickly learned was that these small acts of connection had a huge impact on his overall well-being. Having social interactions not only lifted his spirits, but they also kept his mind sharp. Regular conversation and engaging in activities with others helped him feel a sense of purpose and belonging. And when George felt connected to his loved ones, his heart was full, in a way that no amount of alone time could replicate. Research supports what George discovered. Social interaction is linked to a longer, healthier life. Staying socially connected can reduce the risks of depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. It keeps the mind active, improves mood, and even supports a stronger immune system. Social bonds have been shown to lower the risk of chronic illnesses, including heart disease, and can even increase longevity. That's why it's so important to prioritize relationships, no matter how busy life gets. You don't have to have a packed social calendar, but making time for meaningful connections is essential. It could be something as simple as joining a hobby group, participating in a community event, or setting up virtual calls with loved ones if you're unable to meet in person. George's social circle may have changed over the years, but he realized that the connections he maintained were just as important, if not more so, than ever before. His social interactions provided him with both emotional support and physical health benefits. With a regular rhythm of socializing, George found himself feeling more energized, connected, and optimistic about his future. Who do you enjoy spending time with? Tell us how staying social has impacted your life. Has having a support system made a difference in your health and happiness? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, maintaining connections with others is one of the most important things you can do for your health as you age. Whether it's spending time with family, meeting friends for coffee, or participating in group activities, staying social keeps your mind and heart engaged. In a world that can sometimes feel isolating, these bonds provide not just companionship, but a deeper sense of purpose and joy. Now that we've explored the power of social bonds, let's move on to the next wisdom that helped George unlock the best years of his life. Wisdom number 5, prioritize rest and recovery. At first, George thought that rest was simply about getting a good night's sleep. After all, he'd always been a light sleeper and had never been one to nap during the day, but as the years went by, he started noticing that no matter how much sleep he got at night, he still felt drained by midday. He was sluggish, his muscles felt sore, and his mind was foggy. That's when George realized that getting adequate rest wasn't just about sleep, it was about recovery and giving his body the time it needed to heal and recharge. George began to educate himself about the importance of recovery. He learned that as we age, our bodies take longer to recover from physical exertion, emotional stress, or even just the daily grind. What felt like a normal level of energy in his younger years now required a bit more attention. He discovered that true recovery included not only quality sleep, but also periods of relaxation, rest, and mindful de-stressing throughout the day. One of the first things George did was to set a consistent bedtime routine. He realized that the environment in which he slept mattered just as much as the number of hours he spent asleep. He began turning off all electronics an hour before bed, dimming the lights, and practicing deep breathing exercises to help calm his mind. These small changes made a huge difference. George started sleeping more soundly through the night, and the quality of his sleep improved. He also made sure to incorporate regular breaks into his daily routine. He found that sitting for long periods or pushing through tasks without taking a moment to pause would leave him feeling drained. Whether it was a short walk around the block, 10 minutes of stretching, or simply sitting in a quiet spot with a cup of tea, George learned that taking these mini breaks helped his body recover throughout the day. These moments of relaxation prevented burnout and kept his energy levels up. Taking the time to relax and recover wasn't a luxury for George anymore. It became a priority. His body needed this time to recharge so it could keep up with him. This practice of prioritizing rest became essential to his overall health and longevity. He realized that taking care of his body wasn't just about staying active and eating well. It was about giving his body the space to heal, recover, and stay strong for years to come. Do you feel well rested in your daily life? Share your sleep tips with the community. What small changes have you made to improve your rest and recovery? Let's help each other get the best rest possible. As we age, recovery becomes just as important as activity. Sleep, relaxation, and taking the time to de-stress help our bodies stay strong and functional, preventing burnout and supporting mental clarity. George's journey shows us that proper rest isn't a luxury. It's a crucial part of aging well. By making time for rest, you're investing in your long-term health, vitality, and happiness. By incorporating these 5 wisdoms into his daily life, George not only regained his energy but also found a renewed sense of purpose. He's no longer weighed down by the limitations of age. Instead, he feels vibrant, motivated, and ready for the future. He's looking forward to gardening again, but this time at his own pace, savoring each moment and enjoying the process without rushing. The aches and pains that once seemed inevitable no longer define his days. Instead, George is living his life fully, with the confidence that these practices will keep him thriving well into his hundreds. Aging doesn't have to be something you fear. With the right mindset and lifestyle, you can thrive well beyond 100. Just like George, you have the power to transform the way you experience your later years. It's never too late to start living your best, most vibrant life. If you found these tips helpful, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this.